Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana. Close your legs and open your book. Let's get to reading.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
It's about to get nasty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Let's get to spoiling.
Wait, no, these are spoiler-free episodes.
Not the way I do it.
No way you finally gave Big Dick Rick a chance.
Oh, Big Dick Rick.
Big Dick Rick.
I love it. It's just a colloquialism thrown around the place.
It's what he's known for.
My question is, how did she know that before she was hooking up with him?
I thought that this Diana was the one that hooked up with him, and she's like, it's about time you banged him, because I already did, and that's where you got the nickname from.
Yep, and I haven't walked the same since.
No.
It's a good thing he's a doctor.
He must get around at the hospital to the point that he has the reputation of Big Dick Rick.
No, not to besmirch the medical community, but that's sort of what happens, right?
Yeah. Well, I think her sister was working below him for some time, and now...
Sounds like it.
And now they're of equal status? I don't know.
She got the highest degree.
The highest degree.
In the medical field.
In healthcare.
Healthcare, yes, in all of healthcare.
In all of healthcare, she got the highest degree. Not PhD, not a doctorate, just the highest degree.
Yeah, what do you suppose that might be? What's higher than PhD, doctor?
I'm surprised that it wasn't more of a vampire-like discussion in Twilight where they have all of their degrees just on the wall because they're collecting them.
Well, what's weird is it's kind of known to the world that these people exist.
Right.
So...
No.
Yeah.
Even Liam was shocked. He's like, where did these people come from? They shouldn't exist.
I mean, there are people that live a long time. The Celestials and...
Okay, so it's not an 8-year program in this world.
Well, it must still be because there are still humans.
Oh, yeah, because there's mortals.
So why would it be so valuable?
Why would
Do you think about the implications of that?
Oh, my headspace is going into why would a mortal ever become a doctor? If you had people that live for thousands of years, they would just be the go-to doctors.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The implication of further education becomes far less important if you have people that are just dominating industries for your entire life.
Because you couldn't compete with an immortal being.
Why would there be need for more? You get enough immortals doing it, you never run short of them.
Oh, no, this thought experiment is not fun because immortals becoming doctors for the mortals, is it kind of like how we view bugs?
Wait, what? Bugs becoming doctors?
No.
Oh.
There's no point in a bug becoming a doctor for other bugs because...
You know what? I support, if a bug wants to go to medical school, I, for one, support the bug. Right? Because what a triumphant thing for the bug to do. First, it had to learn to read. Then it had to learn to scrub in and scrub out, which I'm just imagining its little bug hands scrubbing in and scrubbing out a tiny little sink.
That's what the immortals think of the mortal humans?
No.
It's just this, oh, isn't that so cute? You guys learned how to read. You're about to be dead in 70 years.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that's possible. I don't necessarily know that the Celestials think of humans as bugs. I think they almost think of them like, okay, let me rephrase this. Do you think of terminal people as bugs? Just because they live less?
You knock it off.
I'm just pointing this out.
Knock it off.
So I don't believe that they see the value of that person's life as the duration of it, more so as the intelligence, their ability to communicate and feel.
Well, in a last series that we had, we were kind of mocking the idea that you had to be like hundreds of years old to be considered a teenager compared to a human, and how humans are actually better than the long living because of how quickly they develop and gain these skills.
Wait, which series?
Akatar?
Oh. I was like, dude, I don't remember the Empyrean having old people live in the Venom.
No, and Akatar is like 100-year-old Fae is equivalent to a teenager.
Yeah, the one guy was 80 when he became a High Lord. So he was just a baby. Good books.
I was here to talk about Big Dick Rick.
And we did. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It took a little while to get used to this book. Before diving in chapter by chapter, what is your first impression of the Book of Azrael, chapters 1 through 12.
So far, I'm really enjoying it. It's a slow build, but it's kind of fun. The characters are the character, the one that we follow the majority of the first 12 chapters with. It's really impressive how they managed to give you a very human character and then how different that character is at work, basically.
Oh, yeah. Getting her inside thoughts versus how she presents.
Well, I mean, even developing both of those personalities sort of independently, but seeing how one affects the other is pretty cool.
My first impression was I did not like the book until about chapter 7.
Big Dick Rick was a game changer for you.
Oh, it might be. But there's TVs, cell phones. It's modern.
Cell phones?
Cell phones. I don't like modern in books. It kind of gives me an ick. Now that we're far enough into it, I think around chapter 7 is when I had this turnaround of I want to keep reading. Chapter 9, I was hooked and continued all the way to chapter 12 with ease. But getting used to the writing just felt silly. It was modern and it wasn't my style. And I told myself I'm going to keep pushing through. People who love this really love this. This feels like it's in the genre that I would like. And I'm really glad that I did. I now want to go buy the book, and you're the one slowing us down on that.
I said we will buy it if we like it in the end.
But, disclaimer, it took till about chapter 7 to 9, which is a lot of reading to enjoy a book, to get used to it. It's like telling someone you have to watch the first 3 episodes of a TV show to enjoy it. That's a big commitment.
I like this book more than you do. I enjoyed from the first bit on. But as soon as I was aware that there were vampires, I pretended like this was all happening in What We Do in the Shadows universe.
Oh.
And that made it so much more entertaining. Like, I imagined it was like Nadia coming to visit her sister, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Big Dick Rick, hey. And her sister's like, get on. She's like, what? Let me see his penis. Like, it was very fun. She sounds like Doofenshmirtz in my voice.
I think it just took a bit to get used to the writing. It now is this fun romantasy. I was laughing at some parts. Obviously, the Big Dick Rick. There were other...
Why would you laugh at Big Dick Rick?
It's not a laughing matter.
No. Small William Willie. No, Small Willie William is...
And it's this cheesy fun of what I really loved about the last 2 series that we've read.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one to make fun of, but I do think that so far I've enjoyed the way that the character experiences things more than I've enjoyed the other books.
I also realize why there was a little bit of hate on the enemies to lovers in the Empyrean series when this feels like a real enemies to lovers.
Well, they were trying to murder each other. Actively. Yeah, it does seem like that.
And she's brainwashed also.
I don't think so. I don't think she's brainwashed.
I think both of them are brainwashed. I don't know. But overall, this definitely had more of a these are enemies than Xaden and Violet. Like they were, but it wasn't to the same degree, at least what I'm getting from this and realizing a little bit more of what people were saying in reviews.
I've never read a single review for this book. I had no idea what to expect. I came into this and I was like, oh, cool. It's going to be an angel thing.
I don't know what I expected, but definitely not computers, TVs, YouTube videos. It didn't say YouTube, but might as well have said a YouTube video. I was not prepared for that. But after I got to chapter 7, that type of shit was just really funny to me. I was just like, this is so stupid.
I don't think that it's a problem, but it's so modern for me. I kind of appreciate it, to be honest, and I'm hoping that it doesn't become a thing where, oh, I lied. It was really funny when she's like, you didn't answer my text messages. And I'm like, who the fuck says text messages? Like, this was written by somebody in their 40s, is my guess. Mid to late 40s. I thought
the text message comment was trying to keep it modern, but not dated with some terminology.
Do we not find that a little dated as opposed to you didn't answer a text?
You're right. I can't fight you on that.
As soon as I got text messages, it's like somebody's like, I've been emailing you.
I think I grew to like it a little more and shifted my attitude towards it when I related it to Good Omens. Good Omens is in current day, but it has these angels and demons and all of this. And I love that book.
Yeah, Good Omens was awesome. We don't want to talk too much about that. Turns out that author, real dirtbag.
But the other one, he's fine. He's cool, right?
I haven't... Well, he died, I think, before he could have
Good.
turned into a villain.
Good. Nothing came out
Is
after
Terry
his
Pratchett dead?
I think so.
That's what I thought. I think he died before he lived long enough to see himself become a villain.
He died in 2015.
Phew. Bullet not dodged, thank God.
And he looks like a little prospector.
He does. He's cute. Well, probably not now.
Any other
decomposed.
thoughts that you have about the book, first impressions?
What do you think of the way they describe their clothes?
I don't know. I know super sexy outfit for clubbing and
She's ordinarily in a super sexy outfit.
all the time. And he was in a suit that was too tight.
Oh, I didn't mean for the main character. Just clothes in general, the way they're described.
I threw it out the window. I
Really?
think at one point we were learning about rings and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. And then
What kind of rings? Big dick Rick rings?
No. They were like silver rings. I was like, oh, I can pretend that doesn't exist. And then they actually
You don't like when they're wearing rings?
No, I don't know.
Men or women? What if she was just bedazzled or whatever?
I don't know. It just comes off as too much to try to remember.
Oh,
So then I chuck those off of them.
I like that she's not described as frail.
Yeah.
She's the opposite. She's like, I'm not a chesty lady, but I'm a big woman
She's tall.
and broad.
And she,
Big.
yeah, when men come up to her, she's shocked when they're taller than her.
Which I found odd because she's not described as being taller than most men. She said she's taller than most women.
Is she? I just was
Yes.
paying attention to her being shocked by a man coming up. And she's like, not used to this.
She's like, I stood up straight and then he stood up. He's taller than me. Which was interesting because I'm taller than most women. And I'm like, are most women as tall as most men in this world? Like, I would not be shocked if I were you. We've recently, though, met a newer tall person.
Oh my God. Shut up.
So funny.
This newer tall person is a fraction taller than me.
You're wearing heels and she was a fraction taller than you.
Our daughter is taller than me now.
It happened so fast and she is drinking it in.
For 2 hours, she identified as the tallest in the room anytime you left the room.
Where there were only two of you in the room. I love while we were walking around the store, you're just looking above things, she's grabbing everything off the tallest shelf that it's on. Like we're in the chip aisle and there's chips just at her face height or lower, and she sees the ones way up top and she's like, I'll get them, and just hops up there and grabs them. So fucking
What did she
funny.
keep calling herself? Oh, and then she would walk right in front of me, so we were in order from tallest to shortest.
She kept saying we tall people to me.
Yeah.
She is currently like not quite 5'5", probably. She might be 5'5". She's not exactly a giant. It's so fucking funny. And that's how I imagine this woman's like, what, that man's taller than me? It's the same energy. It's like, yeah, most of them are, but you're tall for a woman. It's okay. No, but I like that she wasn't described as like, oh, my frail little body and my huge tits. Like, she was like, I don't have a lot of boobies, but I'm a big girl and I'm strong.
But she's like, but I got this ass.
Instead, she's like, I get ass and the bone structure to match it. She's like, who needs tatties when you got these bad boys? And I imagine she's just flexing at people. Just rolling the traps forward.
I guess I didn't view her that ripped.
Well, you're wrong. No, I'm just teasing.
So your final thoughts are you really like it. You think that you like it
it's
more
good.
than me?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed the first several chapters more than you did.
Yeah, it took
It
me a
was
little
slow,
bit.
but I enjoyed it.
If somebody liked the Empyrean series, would they like this series so far?
I don't know. They're all individuals.
Oh my God.
I think sincerely, this has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you would enjoy that. I think if you enjoy that, you could enjoy this. And if you didn't enjoy that, you can enjoy this. Does
I
that make
got
sense?
lost, but I think I followed.
I don't think it's necessary that you enjoy Fourth Wing to enjoy this. I think it's its own thing.
Now that I'm far enough into it and I got Liam's POV, I feel like I'm hooked and going to be binging the rest of this and trying to push along. I like him more than Diana right now. He's a little depressed and has PTSD, but I mean,
Oh, he's a whiny, angsty boy. He's off doing teenager shit, and it's so funny.
Oh, he's doing teenager shit. I thought he's just really stuck in his head. A lot of memories, a lot of throwbacks. I was getting very lost on this back and forth, back and forth.
For centuries, he lived among the critters, just being an angsty boy while all of his underlings tried to reach him and talk to him, and he's like, I don't care about them.
Oh, yeah, he was very depressed. He's still very depressed.
Cut my life into pieces. He's my little emo boy, but he is cool. His powers are so cool.
I look forward to hearing your perspective on it because I was more giggling about other stuff going on of how he was perceiving Diana this whole time. And I'm sure you were just like, dude, yeah, she's pretty, but that was a sweet move you got right there.
Yeah, honestly, we'll get into that. We'll get into the power section. I think it's really cool.
Okay, chapter 1. It starts off with Diana's POV. She has a celestial tied up, and he thinks that she shouldn't exist. And we see this multiple times now. Whatever she is, she should not exist. It took me forever to figure out the spelling enough that Google could help me. Igmorthan, it's I-G. I thought it was A-G or something like that.
An Agmorthan.
It's
They're known for planting things. John Deere tractors. The Agmorthans.
It took me a second to realize what you were saying. It's Igmorthans, like Igor.
Oh, like Igor.
Like Igor.
Isn't Igor spelled E-G?
I thought it was I-G-O-R.
I'm fucking with you.
Oh,
I'm just fucking
with
you.
Get out of here.
He's an Egor.
He thinks she shouldn't exist, and she is no longer mortal. She reflects on the gods' war. Their world clashed with hers, and now they're combined. I wrote the note, contemporary, modern setting. Is this how you would describe contemporary?
Yeah, it seems pretty contemporary with our world. Yeah.
She's looking for an artifact, and chapter 1 kind of made me laugh because she's beating the shit out of this man tied to a chair, and she's setting the scene, and she says she straddles him.
It's a little sexy.
And he's scared of her. He's like, are you going to kill me? I'm like, I don't feel like that would have been his thought of fear and scared if she like throws her leg over, straddles, and I'm picturing she's sitting on his lap
with leather pants and
and her low-cut shirt, and then she like has to pull his chin into her face because he's trying to like get away so she can lick his face.
He's trying to get out of the way, and she's just making a motorboat while he's turning his head. He's like, no.
Stop. But I had to re-listen. I'm like, one, this sounds more sexy than it is terrifying, but she just did beat the shit out of him before we got to this point. So maybe her attractiveness is long out the window.
Some people pay extra for that.
Oh my God. So she's sitting on his lap, facing him, titties forward. Wouldn't
it be crazy if she was facing him and the titties weren't forward?
Stop it.
She slings a titty over his shoulder so he can't see it.
And he's fearing for his life in this moment. And then she licks his face.
Fear boner activated.
To get the cut. Like he has a cut on his chin or something like that. And now it's this blood dream.
Yeah. She's able to read his thoughts, kind of. She slips into his subconscious, right?
Yeah, she's going through all of his memories. In this moment, is he just like sitting there and she's just like frozen, searching through his memories?
He's coming.
No.
He's like, well, that's an odd memory. We're really building some things here.
Well,
no.
She does that. Then Alistair comes in. Nope, I should reword that.
Yeah, he does.
Tells him the fortress is in Ariel and Kaden will be happy. And Alistair made Peter, the celestial that was tied up, his slave.
Yeah.
That's chapter 1. Interesting setting. Chapter 2, Diana's POV again. She portals to a home in Novice. I don't think she actually calls this home, but she's like, this is my now home. Kaden, whoever this Kaden guy is at this point, claimed it and shaped it. And it's this huge mansion.
Novice. He claimed Novice.
Okay. The house that they're going into, she's talking about being late. At some point in these chapters, there's a lava pit, and I thought the lava was inside of this house.
It is.
No, I think he made a portal that they were tossing people into a volcano within the home.
Oh, I thought he had the power of flame, so he has this pit, and he snaps his fingers and it becomes a lava pit.
I think he snapped his fingers and made this portal to a volcano.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm on board.
It took a little while for me to sort this one out. Tobias is in the home, and as soon as she said Tobias, I'm like, oh, I can't take this man seriously.
He blew himself. Oh, now he's the great expert on marriage, but his wife is dead. I fucking love that guy.
Immediately thought of Tobias Funke with the never nude and wearing these blue jeans underneath of his robes, and that he probably paints himself blue. This man is just blue in my head now.
Yeah, me too. Immediately. He's just David Cross.
So he's very scary, intimidating, because I think he shows up later on a beach. And
I can't remember when they were on a beach.
Oh, you don't remember? We'll get to it. Don't worry. But he comes into view. And all the animals scurry, flee, all this stuff. And I'm like, just picturing the Blue Man Group.
Just Tobias running around.
Then they have their dinner. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
Kaden has gathered all the members of the Netherworld, except the vampires, the one group that didn't really show up. They sent representatives, the leaders didn't show up. It's the second time that's happened. Kaden is an intimidating force. Everybody is scared of Kaden, including Diana, who we know really shouldn't be. She's just as powerful as he is, blah, blah, blah. He's a dickhead. He's well-dressed. There's a guy that's hitting on Diana, and she's like, I've told him several times to fuck off, but he thinks he's just too handsome, and that he's just too charming. She's a little bit charmed by the werewolves.
I was shocked there were werewolves in this story. I'm like,
vampires and werewolves.
Yeah.
Ghouls. And I like to think that, do you remember the show Once Upon a Time?
Yes.
This is just that world.
Oh.
All the fairy tale creatures
all came
there.
Together. Yeah. Gathered.
Yeah, because they're going to fight God, who's the narrator. Mr. Nobody. But he's kind of pissed because the vampire king didn't show up. The vampire prince didn't show up.
Oh, the vampire prince. He's a vampire, and that's who she then later killed?
Yeah, that was her friend. He's the prince.
Oh.
His name starts with a D.
When I looked up what Igmorathans were, what she is, and what I thought Kaden, Alistair, and Tobias were, it said that they're vampire things.
They are, but they're like a high vampire thing, I think.
Right.
They're created. I think they're, I don't know. They're almost like the original blood. Do you remember the Blade movies? Or
no, but I know that you love them.
I did love the Blade movies. They're all terrible. But Wesley Snipes will always hold a special place in my heart. But they're like the original vampires. They're tough. They're daywalkers. They're awesome. But these other guys are more like standard old school vampires. They're Draculas.
All right.
You know?
And everyone seems to kind of be there in fear. They all had to make a promise. So they're all at a dinner. I don't know, some type of table. I don't think there was any food. She has firepower. That's when we learned this. And there's so many names going on. I didn't care to learn any of them. Werewolves, vampires, a lava pool. But then I went back and added, I think that it was a portal. I don't think it was in this room. Her canines retract. She has canines.
Like a vampire.
Like a vampire, yeah. I mean, now it's starting to come together. I'm following.
Okay. Now we're there. She uses blood magic. I feel like that's another thing that's kind of vampire-y.
So they retract. They do those things. And later she says the fur on her back stands on end. I'm like, she has fur?
Like bats, where they have that little patch of fur in the back. A sexy little patch of fur. It's a landing strip.
I was just going to say, she shape shifts without me really, like, if I'm not paying attention, I'm like, oh, she changed form, and all of a sudden she's referencing things that I'm not following. I'm like, wait a minute, we have fur now?
Ooh, she went full bush on her back. Gross.
Still laughing at your landing strip.
Laugh at your landing strip. Who's your favorite so far? Of these things that you've heard referenced, which thing do you think is the most interesting?
The most interesting. I think the way that Liam
is... not him yet. He hasn't been introduced yet.
Okay, as of right now.
Just in this group, because she kind of reviews every different ghoulish I imagine it's like Hotel Transylvania, where all the different things show up.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
I was not interested in the book at this point. At this point, I was still a little scared I was going to DNF it and be like, sorry, I don't think I can push through the writing.
Wow.
That's
and
how
yet
I felt.
I read all of that one garbage book out loud to you.
I have another one that we're going to read, and it's going to be a standalone episode.
Not right now, Adri.
And it's like a comedy, fantasy, romance.
Is this the I fucked cauliflower or something like that? You don't have to tell me right now, but is this chasing veggie tails or whatever the fuck? What was that thing called again? I fucked the fruit.
Oh, no, that is hilarious.
Honey, I fucked the fruit would be a hilarious.
It's pounded by produce.
Ah, shit, there we go. Now, honey, I fucked the fruit. Fuck the fruit.
This one is I got abducted by aliens and now I'm trapped in a rom-com.
Okay, well, that's one to look forward to.
That one's a standalone. It's rated really well, funny, hilarious.
Slap that one in the TBR. We'll get there.
I did, and it sticks out like a sore thumb with all of our want to reads.
Oh, serious romanticy.
But by this point, I wasn't very interested in this book.
So you don't have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite part in this.
Did you think of Kaden as being, how do you envision him? Is he benevolent?
I was a little scared Kaden was going to be the enemies to lovers, that I was a little scared. And I think at the end of this chapter, Kaden calls her out on hesitating. He starts feeling her up before answering if she can see her sister, and his talons are digging into her, but she's like, but I kind of like the pain. I'm like, I don't know if I like this book.
It came off very rapey.
It was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, is he going to do anything? And they didn't. Nothing happened. He walked away.
Yeah, but they fuck like pages after this.
Yeah, but that one was more consensual,
she's like,
right?
Doesn't stay. He won't stay and hold me. He just leaves immediately afterward.
Yeah, but it was a little more consensual on that one.
He pump and dumps her routinely for 200 years.
Oh, Riot.
I don't know why you're upset with me. I didn't write it.
I was like, I swear, I gotta trust the book girlies on why they love this book. It's not Kaden. It's not Kaden. It's not Kaden.
I'm gonna be real straight with you. I don't trust any of you. None of you. You guys have led me down so many paths that I can't walk back from.
And then I'm always on the hunt of who is our enemy to lovers, because she runs into all these other handsome men and I start writing down their description and then they die. I'm like, oh, I don't think it was that one.
Drake. Oh yeah, Drake's the guy. She kills.
Yes. So this chapter 2, it's like a cult to have things back to the way things were before the Gods' War. They need a book to rule and free them from those who view them as less.
The Celestials.
It sounds like she's immortal and working for Kaden to save her sister. Like there was a deal that she made with Kaden. And the chapter ends with Kaden calling her out on hesitating for killing one of the people that disobeyed him or something.
Well, he was setting an example, right?
Yeah.
The king of the vampires of their little area was like, hey, we're busy. We got other shit to do. Why don't you guys go see Kaden and have his dinner? It should be fun. Everybody knows Kaden's kind of wound up and a bit of an egomaniac. So he shows up and, yeah, he starts throwing all three of them into the lava. Actually, he says, excuse me, Diana, toss him in. Give him a helping hand in. And the guy's like, I have a family, please. Take care of my nephew. He's the little shrimp guy.
Yeah. I have a sister.
Yeah. And he doesn't have any legs. That's kind of how it came off. And she's like, oh, so sad. And then she goes, boop. And she boops him into the lava, followed by the others. She just tossing people into lava pits. She's like, everybody's also afraid of me. Because she knows that she's the most Billy Badass outside of Kaden in her mind.
And she is, especially after we see the fight later. And I made one comment of them being equals, her and Liam, but we'll get into that when we actually get into the fight, because you disagreed on them being an equal match. Chapter 2 ends with her asking to go see her sister. And Kaden being a little rapey, and I didn't like it, but nothing actually happened. It was just like a creepy bar experience that nearly all girls have at least once, where a dude just comes and starts touching you and you're like, ah.
I've never really had that experience.
But-
Closest thing I've ever had to that experience, actually, you had a friend bail me out of the weirdest experience I ever had at a bar. I will never forget that.
I don't remember this.
We were at,
Beep.
and some random lady would not leave me the fuck alone. And
Oh, yeah.
came out of nowhere and stole me back and just like hauled me back over to you. Because I kept trying to like leave this woman and I kept like pushing her away and be like, no, thank you. I'm going to go see my wife. And she kept just like standing in front of me. And you can't hit a woman, which would have made things so much easier. But she wouldn't take no for an answer. And then
Beep.
came up and was like, come on, let's go. And escorted me to you so we could hold your hair.
Oh, yeah, that night. And then it was the following year that her husband was the one who was kind of being creeped on by this older woman.
Oh, it was that same year.
Oh, was it? That was all one weekend?
It started with him, the 7-year-old Girl Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of me always wonders if
Beep.
was it all tempted. He's like, I'm going to taste them crusty cookies. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm going to give me some brownies.
Chapter 3, Diana's POV again. She can shapeshift. Kaden asked her to kill her friend, a prince, because Drake quit attending the meetings and was blocked. Oh, and he was going to be the access to the book. She flew to a club. I don't know. This, again, I really wasn't into the book, so I can see where I'm writing things down to throw a little attitude towards it. I'm like, oh, we're going clubbing now.
She's dressed like a clubber.
She is.
She's got her Euro techno going on, just a boots, 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 boots.
She obliterates someone at this club, just like disintegrated or something like that.
They were going to cause her trouble.
And she's like, poof. Kaden wants to open up the realms. Drake thinks that the old gods will cause another war if Kaden gets the book. She thinks the old gods aren't real. She kills her friend. Kaden watched on the cameras. She can now see Gabby. I think once you get past this camera...
God damn, you really weren't into this book at all. You summarized that so efficiently.
I did. I don't like the camera. I didn't like the security cameras. I've eased up on it now. I'm fine with the world building now.
Good, because now we're in kind of a different world.
We're in a different world, but even if it's mentioned, the cameras, the phone, the computers, I'm fine with it now. By chapter 3, I still wasn't okay with it. I was like,
fair.
Oh, he was just watching on the cameras.
Do you mind if I throw a little exposition in here?
You should.
Just when she showed up to kill her friend, he kind of knew what was going to happen.
He like smiled at one point.
He, I think, was really hoping that she would develop her own sense of self in this. And she's like, you knew the rules, man. He's like, yep, you got a job to do. Fucking let her rip, tater chip. And she murked him. And then she's like, I was sad, but I got over it because I got to see my sister. Let's talk about ice cream.
Well, I'm pretty sure he gets brought up later by the sister. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that guy. And I was like, oh, that dude's dead.
He was their best friend. He was their only ally.
Yeah. But it also kind of shows how childish Kaden is, because he gets his feelings hurt and he just goes and kills him despite him being the access to that book.
It's very unilateral as far as his rule goes. He's really keeping the order the way that he wants it to be.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't tolerate disrespect. You know those people that had really strict parents growing up? They're like, I don't ask twice. That's what Kaden gives up.
Exactly.
He's like, if one of them had said yes, you'd be like, yes, waiting for the sir to come out.
Oh, that just fills me with rage, that type of energy.
Dude, I remember those days. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. God, I hated that.
My dad tried it on me once, and it was like, ew. And he actually kind of had a moment of like, we're not doing that again. You don't need to do that. And he never asked me to say that again.
My mom was big about yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, when she was mad.
Our kids have classmates that are like that, and I think it's because they're next to an Air Force base.
Well, I was just going to say, everybody growing up, all of their friends, it was yes, sir, no, sir. To this day, I still do that with people. But now I'm a grown-ass man, so people look at me weird when I say that. I'm like, yes, sir. No,
well,
sir.
It comes off sarcastic.
That's exactly it. And to be fair, they're not wrong. It usually is.
No.
I don't respect you.
Is there anything else that you had on chapter 3 during the club scene and she's taking out Drake?
No, the Vampire Club thing again. If you watched Blade, you'd be like, wow, this is cool. Or I think Blood Rain was another movie that had some of that in it.
I don't have many vampire movie experiences other than the one that I've referenced 1,000 times.
The funniest thing to me is I never think of Twilight. But I know that you do, and when you heard vampire and werewolf, the fact that you didn't just imagine it was what was the werewolf boy's name? Taylor Lautner?
Yeah.
What was his name? Team Taylor, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Team Edward and Team...
Jacob.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. I imagine for you it was just like, oh, I think I know that guy.
I think it was because it was such a formative piece of high school. I didn't read many books, but I read the Twilight series in a span of months. And I did well on my ACT, though, because of it.
I love that you're willing to give all of that to Twilight.
There's no way I scored that high, and it wasn't because I just binged a series before taking the test.
I think that's super possible, but you could have read diner menus. Same amount of experience.
Chapter 4, Diana's POV again. She sees her sister, and her sister is wearing her heels. Also, this is
She's not wearing them.
No, right. She's nude right now.
Yeah, she's naked.
But before she catches her sister, she walks in the room, and just a small little, those are my heels. It's such a sisterly moment.
Who takes the time to put shoes under their bed?
I don't know.
Are we having sex wrong?
Do you remember the song, Whose Boots...
Whose bed have your boots been under?
Yeah. You had to explain that phrase to me when we first got together. I'm like, why are the boots under the bed?
You're right. It's a common trope. I think we're doing it wrong. We got old. I'm like, I want my shoes near the door where I'm going to put them back on.
Why are we wearing shoes in the house?
Who vacuums your room where you're allowing people to just bring shoes into it?
But either way, she sees her heels there, and then she sees Big Dick Rick. And she calls out her sister. It's awkward. The man is just silent.
He looks shocked, to be fair.
The fact he's not grinning that he was called Big Dick Rick.
He's pretty shocked in the moment.
Unrealistic moment.
Yeah, I want somebody to walk into our room one time mid-sex and just be like, hey, Long Rod Ryan, what are you doing? I'm like, excuse me, I'll be back. I need to high-five that individual, and I'll be right back here.
She looks around the room, and we've already mocked this part. The highest degree in healthcare.
Yeah.
Not a PhD, not a doctorate, just the highest degree you can get.
I think she's got them all. She's probably been collecting them. And also, how recent is this? She's been alive for centuries. Did she just now decide?
I don't know.
Was healthcare a thing back then?
Did she finally go to school? Why is it taking so long? Because she says she's been going to school for some time now.
If this is contemporary, right, let's say that this all occurs in 2015 to 2025, just the last 10-year span, right? You realize for a century and a half, that woman couldn't even really get a job. What the hell did she do?
I don't know. I'm assuming that degrees take longer to get in this realm.
Why are we not focused more on women's rights, though? If you have women that are living for hundreds of years, there's no fucking way that you had a woman who's like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife. Oh, really? For how long? Well, we better have kids for the next 170 years. I'm never going to die.
Wait a minute. I don't know what she's been up to.
Saying?
Yeah, I don't know what she's been up to.
We don't get the first woman president. We don't get anything out of this yet.
At this point, I didn't know how old they were. And in this moment, I assume she's been going to school ever since her life was saved by her sister making the deal with Kaden. She
said, the trade I made centuries ago, a life for life.
And that she's been going to school for centuries.
No, she didn't say she's been going to school for centuries. Also, can you imagine how hopeless you would be? You're a tiny little human child. I'm like, what do you want to be when you grow up? They're like, well, I hope you like fast food. Because everything it requires a college education takes 90 years to get through. You won't live long enough to become a doctor.
They have the discussion of Kaden looking for the Book of Azrael. They discuss the hand, bringing them closer to the book. What are your thoughts on the hand? You got excited.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. I want you to Google something for me. Who are the bad guys in the Ninja Turtles? What's their name?
I don't know.
You're going to Google it.
Bad guys in Ninja Turtles. Super Shredder?
Oh, that's a bad guy. What's the group of bad guys called?
You gotta say it. I think these Google searches aren't doing
I think
well.
it's called the Foot.
Oh my God, the Foot Clan?
Thank you.
That's so stupid.
These guys are the Hand. How is it any fucking different? And also, I think in Marvel, there is a bad group of people called the Hand. Google the Hand for me.
Is the Hand also a thing that's seen in comics as like the illustrator? No, we watched a TV series where there is the illustrator can change the story. What was that show?
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol.
You're thinking of Mr. Nobody. And then there's a few movies where it's kind of the basis of like, oh, they drew this in. The person writing or illustrating the book is, the illustrator is a bad guy. But then you have the Hand in Smash Bros.
That's also another one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, also a bad guy. And then you have, the Foot from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then you have the Hand in Marvel comic books. I want to believe it's also in Batman. There's a bad guy group called the Hand. Google the Hand for me, just to get this out of my brain. I didn't want to pre-Google this and ruin it for myself, but I was pretty sure the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had the Foot.
The Hand is a super villain organization appearing in American comic books published by Marvel.
Marvel, there we go.
And that's a villainous group.
Like in this story.
The Hands in the DC universe refer to the Hands of the Source or the Super Celestials.
We can see where this is maybe slightly derivative.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I'd like to think it came from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They were just like, the TMNT, what are we going to do? Oh, I'm inspired.
I was getting a little confused at this point of what the Hand is, a group put together by Sam Kyle.
Who is Liam.
Gabby is the closest thing to mortal, I'm assuming because of what stage of death she was at. Kaden converted her, but she is still the closest thing to mortal in the skills that she has. She can't shapeshift. She can't do fire. She can't do a lot of what.
She just lives a long time.
Yeah.
That's what Kaden said, is she was on her deathbed. All it was able to do is extend her life.
And Gabby wants Drake, the guy that was just killed in the last chapter, to turn Rick, Big Dick Rick, otherworldly.
Can you imagine how phenomenal that dude's cock has to be? We've been dating for months, and I want that dick forever. She's had hundreds of years of pipe.
Well, I'm thinking about if you're a doctor in this hospital wait, he's mortal. He's mortal.
Currently, yeah. He made it through the degree process. He's only 72.
Even more impressive that you can have this immortal woman in shock of your dick.
That's literally what I was saying. She's had centuries of pipe. And this dude she's like, I want this one forever.
I kind of like this one. We need to convert him.
Yeah. I wonder if he's got evil dong.
What?
Well, I think he might be a bad guy.
I don't think so.
I think it'd be very compelling to have a bad guy with a magic cock.
Oh, stop. No. I don't know what I think of it. I think he's probably going to die and her sister's going to be sad.
I think he's a male succubus.
Maybe. No, I'm not going to entertain you with that. No.
Okay. Well, prepare to be entertained later in the book when I turn out to be correct.
The TV is on. There's an earthquake that took down temples. And Diana immediately is like, this is Kaden's doing. I think she goes and search for her phone. He hasn't asked for her to come back. She hangs out with her sister for a week. They're shopping. Gabby likes Celestials. That scares Diana. Diana is worried Kaden will kill the Celestials that she likes, or the Celestials will kill her sister. They go out to party. She told her sister to take some sexy selfies.
Send them to, Big Dick and Rickon.
Yeah. And this is another part that it just takes me out of the book of, you need to take some sexy selfies. I'm like, there should be no selfies in this book.
Also, who the fuck is ever encouraging you to take sexy selfies? Like, I encourage you to do it. You don't. You won't.
I don't have a sister to know if this is a sisterly experience.
I have a sister or two. They've never told me to take sexy selfies and send them to your wife. Never happened.
I took this as a sister moment that I've just never had or experienced, but I didn't like the selfie comment, but I'm still working my way through. We're only in chapter 4. It was around chapter 7 that I accepted and now enjoy the book.
It's kind of like them borrowing shoes.
Yeah.
My sister's never had the size of feet that I have, therefore I've never had to share shoes with her.
So her sister took some sexy selfies, I'm assuming, and sent them to Rick.
Yeah. And he sent back a thumbs up. He's a cool guy.
Okay.
Nice tits, bro.
Sexy man approached them at the bar. And this is me thinking, like, this is it. This is our boy. Whoever the sexy man of the book is, this is him. Tattoos. Dangerous. Rings. Pretending that part's not true because I didn't like the rings. Smelled mortal. Taller than her. And she turns him down. I'm like, all right, this is our boy. We've now been introduced to him. No, that's not the case. I think this man dies later. Or
she murders him.
Yeah.
He's the guy who she murders.
Yeah, I think this is Zeke.
His name wasn't Zeke.
Ezekiel.
All right. Well done. Honestly, every time I heard Ezekiel, I just thought of a TikTok sound. What's your name? Ezekiel. What's your name? The names are really kicking me out of this sometimes.
Chapter 5. It's now been 2 weeks of her getting to hang out with her sister.
Oh, there was a sexy lady floating around there also. When she met Zeke, there's another tall, sexy lady.
Oh, yeah. Sexy woman in Diana making eyes. She's suspicious, though.
Because that woman's too sexy to be mortal.
Too sexy for this club.
Well, she's like, she's too hot to be a person. I saw her back fur.
Do we see this woman later?
Mm-hmm.
Is she a part of the hand?
Don't worry about it. We'll get to it.
Wait, I don't remember.
Don't worry about it. We'll get there.
Chapter 5. It's been 2 weeks. They're on a beach. Gabby doesn't understand why Deanna can't leave Kaden. I think Diana has withheld the deal that she made with Kaden to save Gabby.
So I thought that initially too, other than when they start to talk about it. Diana's like, it always turns into an argument. We're not going to have this discussion. She's like, you know that I can't disobey him. And Gabby's like, no, you could. You are just as powerful as he is. Tell him to fuck off. She's like, what's he going to do? And she's like, kill these people. And then Diana's like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, you think he would kill these people? And she's like, motherfucker, don't be dumb. Yes, he'll kill everybody.
I think Gabby is very sheltered from Kaden.
I think Gabby has been kept away from Kaden, but she is aware. It doesn't appear as though there's any secrets. It seems as though Gabby is kind of one of those people that, just like all of us, until you sort of witness something, you find it hard to believe.
Yeah, I think she's sheltered, naive of the situation that Diana's in.
I would agree.
She has a long talk with her sister on the beach, and this is when Tobias and Alistair show up behind her.
Alistair,
yes. They show up on the beach. Something scared them at dinner, and they plan to go somewhere to see someone who doesn't like Diana. All of this happens. Yeah, so I guess they show up on the beach, and then they go to dinner, and they're all talking, and something scares Tobias and Alistair, which we now later learn they were having their photos taken by the hand.
Yes.
That is the end of chapter 5. Any thoughts, comments, or concerns?
It's odd to me that Alistair and Tobias are better at sensing things than she is.
Or now that we know it was the hand taking photos, they had their flash left on.
Yeah, and Diana's like, I didn't see anything. She's our little super warrior who's not observant.
I'm surprised that they can't tell immortals from mortals as easily. Even Liam has difficulties. When he sees photos of Gabby, he sees her as just a mortal woman.
Yeah, I don't think there's a huge visual difference in the people that were mortal and turned immortal. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Because I don't believe physiologically it's a big difference. I think it's a difference more within them than an outside physiological difference. They don't believe they're getting taller and stronger and faster and better. I think they are getting faster, I suppose.
But the man that she met at the club was part of the hand.
He's a celestial.
And she couldn't sense it. She thought something was off, but she dismissed it.
My understanding is that they can mask that because he's a high-level celestial. Remember, he's on this plane, not on his home world, so to speak.
All right. And it's not like they have a different smell, a different aura, a different anything,
they
really.
They might, but maybe they can mask that off. I'm imagining.
I don't know.
I have a quote from Brandon Sanderson that I want to bring up for this.
All right.
We're not very far into his book, but so there's 3 things that Brandon Sanderson brings up as far as writing stories to make them incredible. And he follows these rules so well. Number 1 is, well, not number 1 on his list. Number 1 on my list of his 3 things is it's far more interesting to know the limitations of these people's superpowers than it is to know what they can do, right?
Ooh, yeah, I like
Knowing
that.
what they cannot do is more interesting. You don't need to introduce something new until you've fully explored what's there. And then the only way for you to be invested in this story is to have a really good understanding of the magic system in place. I'm hoping we get that as we move forward.
I agree. I like that.
Those are the only 3 things that I can remember. He probably has a million of them because the dude writes 12 books a year.
Well, and I think later, Diana explores what her limitations are, that she has been killed and dead multiple times and has always come back. And they've landed on the only part that has not been touched has been her heart. And she assumes that's how she'll die.
And that's what I was just going to say is I like that it's brought up the different ways that she was attempted to be killed. She was beheaded. She was burned. She's been all these things. And she's like, the only thing that hasn't been done is my heart has remained in my chest. Therefore, my mortal heart is my only weakness.
Yeah. What do you think Liam's is going to be? Because she also kind of explores that with him of saying, well, there's got to be something. There is always a reason people will die or things will die.
I think he'd have to sacrifice himself. I think it would be, his weakness will be the things that he values.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering if he were to be bonded to someone.
Oh, I keep forgetting this is romantic.
Yeah.
God damn it. This had such potential to be a fun book. Shit.
That's my guess
we'll
with
get
Liam.
more into Liam later.
Chapter 6, she's now working with Tobias and Alistair.
Tobias. Every time it's going to make me giggle. Mr. Fuke.
They're somewhere in this ruined town. She has an uneasy feeling of a celestial somewhere. The fur on her back raises, and I was like, wait a minute, there's fur involved?
Maybe she just has, like, hairs there like everybody does, but she's just calling it fur. Because she shapeshifts into what?
She shapeshifts into some type of being or creature that Kaden showed her.
Generally, a wyvern is her favorite thing to shapeshift into.
Okay.
And she goes through and explains the difference between dragons and wyverns, which I'm noticing is a theme
Yes.
people are taking the time to do, which is great.
But later, Liam sees her shapeshift into a creature that is tormenting him in his dreams from the God's War. She was not there for the God's War. Therefore, she's shapeshifting into something that Kaden showed her. Right?
Yeah, in that chapter, she says, what do you fear? And he's like, fucking nothing. And then she shapeshifts into that beast. And it gives him a moment of pause because that's a beast that killed his dad.
Exactly. But in this moment, she's a wyvern, I believe, with fur on her back. And I must have missed when she shifted to woman.
I don't know that she's a wyvern at this point. I think she was a wyvern when she went to go kill Drake.
Okay, yeah.
She was a wyvern then, and then she shapeshifted into a person outside the club. She drops down into the city streets and is like, I'm going to go clubbing now. And people are like, whoa, what are you doing? You were a bird a minute ago.
Shameless plug between chapters.
Want more daggers and shadow daddies? Get a month ahead of where you're at right now. Sign up for 1 month on Patreon and then cancel that shit after you binged it.
That was great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I know how their advertisements work, and this is what I wish they did. It was only 5 seconds long.
Have you seen other shape-shifting beings in movies depicted as their clothes are a part of them? Because you can't take your clothes and change your clothes from piece to piece. So your clothing is a part of you. And if you cut your clothing, you cut yourself.
Nadia, my love. Jackie Daytona.
Oh.
But that's just like what we do in the shadows. They go from bat to people. They don't come back naked. What's her name? The X-Men?
That's who I'm
Rebecca
thinking of.
Romaine was Mystique.
And her clothes were a part of herself.
It was all part of the shape-shifting. If you want to get into video games, Bayonetta. Technically, it's all hair, which is kind of gross.
I don't know that reference, but I'm going with that
She's
type
just
of...
a sexy librarian lady with gun heels.
Oh, okay,
Google
cool.
Bayonetta. It's, I didn't know who this was, and I was watching our son play Smash Bros. I'm just like, what the fuck? This can't be a real character. It is. I had to Google it. I thought it was like some dirty download thing.
She has freakishly long legs. Oh my god. Oh my god. This character, it's like all booty shots.
Prove it.
All right. Anyways.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all hair, though. She's not wearing any clothes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's all her hair.
Not in these images.
It is. It looks like a latex bodysuit, right?
Right.
That's all hair, baby.
No way.
Dude.
Is that what?
That's canonically what this shit is. I learned about this.
That's weird.
Research. I was just like, because in the video game, like, one of her secret moves is she, like, bends backwards, shoots people with her heels. She's, like, breakdancing, right? With her heels. And then she's got, like, a hair fist that comes out of a portal and punches people. I'm like, what the hell? But something happens with her costume while that's happening. Like, her costume is surrounded in magic while the hair fist comes.
Oh, because she had to remove her hair clothing.
Right, but don't worry, magic covers everything that you don't want a child to see. When the hair becomes a fist and hits somebody, and then hair becomes clothes again. That's my understanding of it.
Okay.
So when this lady's like, the hair on my back stands up, maybe that's it.
No.
Maybe she's got hair clothes.
No. I'm assuming that she doesn't have a wardrobe because she can just shapeshift clothes on herself, whatever she wants to wear.
How's her sister stealing her shit then?
Okay, good point. Good
Boom.
point. She is running around this area trying to find something.
Scurrying
Quickly.
Scuttling.
She finds an abandoned house that gives her pause, gives her an uneasy feeling.
Gives her pause. Red Bull, it gives you pause.
She's exploring. She goes into a library. I think this abandoned house is actually an abandoned temple that was once of the old gods. There is a shadowy man, cobalt eyes, and I'm writing the details because I'm like, now this is our man. I thought it was him. Cobalt
The
eyes.
second time you thought this was the man.
Third time, I thought it was Kaden.
No.
I was a little
this
scared.
is the second time it's been the same man that you thought it was.
Oh, this is the guy
is the guy
at
from the club.
Okay. He's shocked. He's shocked she can wield flame. He's pasty white. That's when I was like, oh, never mind. I don't think this is him.
Can't be our guy. This is a white guy.
He's pasty.
And he's got blue eyes? No, he's the devil.
Ivory skin, technically. The same rings, oh yeah, as the man at the bar and the woman. Oh, so I don't think this is the same one if she's saying this is someone with similar rings to the man at the bar.
They're so similar, but they're the same. And trust me, it moves on as we go through the chapter. This is the same man.
Okay.
He's just in the dark right now and glowing. Cobalt is blue, correct?
Yes, it's very
Okay.
close to your favorite color of blue.
I thought that was the case. And I was like, I'm envisioning this.
Yes. This man is with the hand. They work for an old god. He says the old god will come back once he knows of her existence. She took his sword that will turn her to ash. She faked defeat to get him close. She kills him, grabs the books, and then I have to know, he's not actually dead.
I was just going to say, she doesn't kill him. All right, I like where you're at.
He came
Keep moving.
back. She killed him, and then he's like bone snapping into place or something like that because she snaps his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he comes back alive.
He's like, you'll have to be quicker than that.
Chapter 7. She's interrogating this warrior. No, right? Ezekiel? What's happening in chapter 7 after she kills him? And then he comes back to life. What's going on?
They keep partying. She's like, my God, you're durable. He's like, you too, my lady. We're both quite durable. And he's like, I'm going to fuck you up. And she's kind of going back and forth with him. And she's like, we need to find the book of Azrael. And he's like, that book is not meant for your kind. Fuck off. You're going to die here. And she's like, not if I kill you first. And he's like, my death won't be meaningless. Any Hoosier. Out of nowhere, Kaden shows up, shoves a claw through this dude, right? Skewers him.
Oh, yeah.
And Kaden's pissed. He's like, we told you to wait outside, bitch, or something like that. He's like, we're all going to go together. And she's like, I just thought that this would be easy money. You know, come in here, grab the book, get the fuck out. I thought we'd be good. And Kaden's kind of pissy with her.
At this point, Kaden's not really here. Ezekiel tries doing this spell against her. It doesn't work on her. Therefore, she must not be what he thinks she is.
To a lesser extent, it works on her. It restricts her, but she can power through it.
Yeah, because she could escape. He tries to kill himself. Sam Kyle, the world ender, is real, and Zeke says Sam will be back. Zeke kills himself. Oh, and Xaden shows up, and Xaden is fearful over all of this.
Xaden?
Ooh, Kaden.
Xaden's not fearful of anything. Anyway, Kaden was there already.
Right,
because
yeah.
Kaden attempted to murder him before he decided to kill himself.
Yeah.
And Kaden's like, my boy here, Alistair, is going to turn you into a mindless zombie who works for me, you son of a bitch. And this guy's like, fuck that, I'd rather be dead. And he's like, too bad, we're not going to let you die. Then he does a magic spell, which binds everybody except
That's exactly it. They all have like this little thing circling them, and they're all in these little portal-looking prisons, is what I'm picturing. And she escapes it, and it's very painful. And I think it already lost his hand by this point.
He's praying to the old world god, Sam Kyle. And he's using the ancient tongue because, what's his face? Kaden recognizes it as the ancient language of the gods or whatever. And she starts moving through it, and that's where Zeke's like, oh, fuck. This lady means business. It opens a portal. She is shipped through that portal to that world, to our Austere. You know what I'm trying to say?
I don't know any of the location
I'm thinking
names.
of Alistair, but this one starts with an A. It's the world that
Ariel?
Yeah, probably.
I remember that one. I don't know anything about it.
Place. Yeah. I don't know if it's a separate world or it's just a different location or something. She ends up there, though. Kaden and them remain where they're at. They're still trapped. Okay. And then we cut to Sam's view of things.
Yeah.
Who is also Liam.
Because he kills himself. He says Sam Kyle will be back. And she's like, he's not real. But she's like, maybe he is now. Kaden is scared. Chapter 8, we get Liam's POV. This is 2 days earlier. But then it also cuts into nightmares. So we're moving quickly.
We got a lot going on with old Sam Liam.
Liam has major PTSD from the Gods' War. He's completely useless for a majority of these chapters because he's tormented by his nightmares and headaches. What are the headaches about?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you would have some theory by now.
By now? We only met him for like 3 chapters, and most of it was him talking about how sexy she is.
I don't know. You always have ideas.
Yeah, well, he's got headaches, and I think it has everything to do with him being removed from the place where his magic would be.
I thought it was the prayers.
Maybe. That's totally possible, too.
I think
he's a little bit like God.
He is a god, and he can have the prayers coming in, and he's just overwhelmed and trying to block
Like in Bruce Almighty, where it's like a million emails.
Yeah.
He just answers, ignored all. Mark has read.
And drowning it out.
Anyway, so he's described as bearded, long-haired Tarzan.
Yeah, and this time I'm like, oh, we're getting a Liam POV. This is it. This is the one. Yeah. This is our man. He has nightmares of the Gods' War. He is a celestial. I don't know.
He's a god.
Yeah, but it's confusing because his own father was not viewed as pure, but yet he is.
His father was. His father was pure.
No, I didn't think his father was because they didn't respect him because of whatever his bloodline was.
Oh, baby, I think you got these turned around.
Okay.
So Liam was not respected as pure because his mother was a celestial or something different, and his dad was this god.
Oh.
His dad was known to be like the king of kings. He's the Zeus, so to speak, of this pantheon. He was the fucking man. But his dad's like, don't worry. Someday, Simba, all this shit will be yours. He gives him the whole, everything the sun touches type of deal. And he's like, but Dad, they don't respect me when they don't think I can hear them. They're really mean to me. And his dad's like, don't worry about it. You're going to be incredible. And he's like, I'll never be like you, Dad. You're the world's greatest king ever.
I thought his dad was an ass.
Even better than me. No, his dad fucking adored him and loved him.
Really?
Yeah, his dad's like, don't be like me. Be better. You're incredible. They will respect you because you will have earned it. You're the man. Don't be down on yourself, my son. And then when they go to fight the big world-ending thing, he's like, Dad, what are your orders? Well, before that, sorry, I'm going to get into this real quick.
No, I love
big,
it.
huge battle's coming, right? There are hundreds of Igmorithans. His dad's like, be careful. The Igmorithans are crafty. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, but for hundreds, you shouldn't need an army. You should be able to fight hundreds of them by yourself. And he's like, okay, yeah, you're right. No problem. I'll go fight them. And then his dad says, all right, go fight him. And he's like, well, they will either bow to us. I'm kind of fucking this up a little bit, and I'm realizing it halfway through.
Well, there were so many dreams. The Gods War one is the one that's happening in this one, where it's this flashback.
Yeah, the Igmorithans and everybody are fighting the Celestials.
The gods are dying. The city is falling to the Igmorithans. At this point, I didn't know how to spell it yet.
It doesn't matter. They're egg people. Who cares? But his dad's like, they're crafty. Be careful. And his son's like, they will either bend to our will or they will be gone. And his dad's like, you've only been a king for a couple hours and you're already speaking like one. Good job. And he's like, what are your orders, Daddy? And his dad's like, well, go live up to your name.
Of Liam is so much different than mine.
We're going to get to it. My view of Liam changes a little bit. But at this point, he's kind of a kiss-ass to his dad, and he's just a sad boy because he's not as loved as his father is. But his father adores him to no end, which I think is incredible. And I'm sad that you missed out on that.
Liam is a fuckboy also, because after the Gods War dream, it cuts to one even further back before the Igmorithans are overtaking. They're on the rise, and he's talking to his son about...
Quit fucking every woman that bats their eyes at you and quit drinking so much.
Do not dip your cock in any celestial. And
well, you got to finish that quote.
I don't know the rest of it. That's all I wrote.
It was, don't dip your cock in every celestial that gives you the time of day, basically. It's like, everybody that bats their eyes at you doesn't need a good fucking. You just keep it in your pants for a hot minute. Quit drinking so much. You're clearly hungover. You're fiddle fucking around. And he's like, are we not supposed to enjoy the spoils of our work? And he's like, no, you're not. You're the fucking king. He's like, that's for your people to enjoy. You need to be better than that.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope, fuck you. You're the king. I'm just the guy who went out there and ended worlds. So then when all the Igmorithans and people are showing up, he's like, well, what do I do, Daddy? And he's like, you're going to go live up to your name, World Ender. Fucking end him. And he does. And he goes out there and blaze of glory. And his daddy ends up dying in that battle. And that's the last time they speak.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got so much out of that.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
but
I think
in my brain, that was pretty much how it went.
I think you got it. I think I got the Liam is pure, but Dad isn't. And yeah, I see where I got that backwards, where Liam isn't.
Can you imagine what that would be?
I couldn't understand the
His
math.
dad's 50-50, and Liam's like, somehow I'm 100.
Yeah, I was very confused.
I don't understand. I'm not a geneticist, and I certainly don't know anything about God. But I'm going to assume that's not how that would work. Okay. Reverse purity would be really cool.
So now he's awake from his dreams. He's now looking at his reflection, and he sees his thick, luscious hair and his thick beard.
And his thick, meaty cock, which is a little sweaty.
He doesn't talk about his cock size at all. We only know...
She's going to. She'd be like, my God, he is a god. You make Big Dick Rick look like regular-sized Rudy.
He crafted chairs and a table in his home.
He built the entire place. The castle.
Yeah.
He built an answering machine for those messages that are pissing him off.
You can just delete them.
They keep trying to talk to him. They're like, sir, things are getting concerning here. He's like, they're always bothering me about nonsense. They're like, oh, I hope you're doing well. He's like, mark as unread.
Because Imogen shows up, calls him Sam Kyle. That's when we're getting this, okay, Liam is Sam Kyle. He likes the name Liam. Imogen works for him, has a message of Zeke is in trouble. Oh shit, this guy is one of the old gods. That's who Liam is.
Side note, before we get any further, who do you think is passing information to Kaden?
Wait, what?
Because Kaden says Sam Kyle, or is it Liam that he goes by now? And he was aware that he's alive.
Yeah.
Nobody else was aware of this.
Kaden knew, and he kept it from Diana too, right?
Correct.
Yeah, because she didn't think...
But the fact that he knew he was now called Liam is interesting to me. That means that it's somebody who's semi-close to the guy.
Oh, fascinating. Were you picturing this answering machine or this phone call like a hologram?
I pictured it like Wally's girlfriend. Do you remember? What was her name? Eva. I picture it's like Eva floating around there. And she comes up, she's like, one new message from... I can't remember those other people's names. And it just is like their voice coming over her little speaker. And then he's like, boop, delete.
I think he finally took this. No, he didn't take this one.
He didn't take the call.
No, he didn't.
He doesn't. He waits until he gets the prayer.
Yeah,
from Zeke.
This is 2 days earlier. Zeke is in trouble and he's having a hard time. Like, there's problems. And then it wasn't until Zeke dies.
Also, he talks about how he's fatigued and part of his headaches are that he's not eating.
Yeah.
Because his headache does get better when he eats the berries.
He's depressed. He has a new dream, and it's him telling his dad that he's bettering himself. There's something about a white stag. Is he talking to a horse during this?
You know what a stag is? Not a stallion.
Is it the deer thing?
Yeah, buck is a stag.
Yeah. But he's like talking to this creature.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's having a real breakdown right now.
Well, I think the stag's not afraid of him, so it's not running away. They both stop for a drink of water right at the stream. And he's like, these berries are fucking good, but their seeds are poisonous to this cat. So he can't have any. So he's like, you know what? I'll use my incredible magic to remove the part of this that's toxic to this deer. So he does, and then he feeds them to the deer. And it's great, other than now the deer thinks he can just eat those berries. Which I imagine that stag dies later on. He's like, I just had some of these the other day, guys. You got to try them. And he brings the whole fucking tribe over.
No.
Yep, the whole herd's coming to try these berries, and now they're all dead. No. Sam Kyle is like, I am the world ender. I ended an entire population of these white stags.
I didn't think of that.
I'm just saying, I think he is Azrael. He's the god of death, or the angel of death, whatever.
I thought he was a good guy.
Well, I think he thought he was being a good guy too, but he didn't consider it. This is why his dad's like, you really need to quit fucking around. His dad would have told him, but he was too busy dipping his cock into every celestial.
Oh, no. And now he's depressed.
Well, I think he's been that way for at least a few centuries.
Then Zeke's prayer comes in. He went to a place, Imogen said. Logan, his oldest and best friend, brother, told Liam about Zeke. So Logan tells him something. I don't know.
This is when he shows up. Honestly, the names in this are really fucking with me. Because also we know, you know more Logans than I do, technically.
Yeah, I
but
do.
Like, I know so many Logans. Imogen is a common thread now in a couple books back to back. That's killing me. Zeke, I know one Zeke, which now that I think about it, his real name was Ezekiel. So it's weird that I didn't pick up on the Ezekiel thing.
I think of Bob's Burgers, Zeke.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that guy. Now we got two Zekes to reference. But I don't remember where I was going with that.
Well, he finds out about him dying, and now he's taking things serious.
He's like, fuck, maybe I should have answered those calls. But he still doesn't want to. He doesn't really care. He just knows that he should.
Yeah, so he comes
nice.
down from wherever his little
it's a
god
different world.
Palace place is. Wherever he built his home, he leaves there with Logan to wherever they need to go. Wherever
the world that he built for the Celestials.
Okay.
That's what he says.
Oh.
Right? He's like, we built this place for them after the destruction of our home planet, basically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Chapter 9 is Liam's POV again. He watches a recap video of the world.
I'd like to think that it's just that REM song. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Can I borrow your phone for a second?
Oh, I do know this song.
Just look at the lyrics of it. It's just a quick, brief history lesson starting from Lenny Bruce, which is... Are you familiar with who Lenny Bruce was?
No, but this song is called It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM.
But it's just a quick history lesson, and I think that that's the format in which they chose to give it to him.
I was picturing a YouTube video that's 10 hours long just on 2x speed.
It's just YouTube Rewind from 2010 through 2024.
Oh, God, no.
He's like, I don't know who Will Smith is, but he seems to be pretty important.
Well, and he only learned half of the languages. When I'm picturing a god, I would assume he doesn't need a YouTube video recap of centuries and centuries.
He's downloading everything. He's not omniscient.
Right. That's important.
Yeah, I feel like if you were just omniscient, it would make this a really boring book.
It would.
It's more like, you remember the show Chuck?
Yeah, but I don't understand
Where
the
he just
reference.
downloads Kung Fu from the
Oh,
thing.
right.
That's kind of what's happening. The Intersect. I think that's what it was called.
So yeah, he has to download the information to learn the languages. He only got through half of the languages.
The Matrix. That's a much better example.
Yeah, I
where
like it.
Morpheus is like, you know Kung Fu now. And he's like, oh, wow.
Ezekiel was right. His death did lead to Sam Kyle coming back. They're all confused how someone could take one of the hand out. This is shocking information.
Maybe he was a non-dominant hand.
Oh my God. Well, she makes a comment of like, isn't it funny how you just chop off the hand of one of your hand and they're useless?
I think she meant literally the hand. Like you remove their hands.
That's what they did to Ezekiel. And he was defeated after that.
He did manage to bring Sam Kyle back.
Yeah, true.
I think she's really overestimating the usefulness of what they did.
At some point in the recap, Liam asks about clubs, and clubs are described as places with more clothes and less orgies than what they're used to.
Okay, it's brought up because, like, what happened? And they're like, oh, we spotted her at a club with her sister. And he's like, the thing you hit things with or the card? And they're like, no, it's another colloquialism. You'll get it eventually.
It's like this place, but with less orgies.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
That's what they said, yeah.
Igmorthan are seeking revenge on a relative of theirs that was killed.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I got from this that the Igmorthans just were tired of being treated like second-class citizens and having to hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from Liam's POV, he's like, oh, I killed this leader of theirs, and now they're seeking revenge. Which may be true of Kaden's actual purpose versus what Kaden is using to motivate other people. He's like, we aren't treated as equals. And then Kaden's like secretly like, actually, I'm just trying to get revenge. He has a memory with his father that he should get married. And eventually.
And procreate. And he's like, I always heard that they were made, not procreated.
The gods?
Or I'm sorry, I was thinking of the Igmorthans.
The Igmorthans, yeah.
My bad.
Then he comes back into the meeting. There's an earthquake, maybe from Kaden. His headaches are coming and going. No, they're not going, just getting worse. And I was lost. Diana was here as Henry.
Okay, so this is a cool deal. They're having this big town hall meeting among all the Celestials and the human representatives. Yep. And they're like, not to worry, our God is here again. And the people are all pretty okay with being dickheads to this guy, which is wild to me. They're just like, you weren't here, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. They're throwing tomatoes and shit at him. He's like, all right, I understand you guys are upset. But it's been a long time since he's communicated with people, so he's coming off like a real asshat. Not one apology. He's just like, I heard my own voice, and it was angrier than I thought it should be.
Sounded like my father.
Yeah.
That's why I thought his father was an ass, because when he reflects on his dad often, it's his dad's demand of authority, and it's not something he ever saw himself becoming, but he's noticing he is doing it.
Yeah, which I think doesn't necessarily mean that he's being an asshole. I think you hit the nail on the head. He demands respect. He's the king of the gods. And he's like, I never thought I'd be that guy, because he doesn't like his position as king of the gods. They keep saying my liege, and he's like, nope.
Oh, that's a way better take. I thought he didn't like his dad. No, he doesn't like his role.
He loved his dad. His papa was his boy.
Oh, wow. I just really wasn't. I feel so silly. I thought he was a mama's boy.
He could have been, but he was also a daddy's boy. I think it's mostly portrayed as he was both. He was very, very loved by both of his parents. It's weird because it doesn't put him in a super sympathetic place for me. Like when I look at him like, oh, your life was too amazing and too easygoing, and then your dad died when you were a fucking adult in war, which you guys were a part of. Boo-hoo. You don't get to be this depressed, sad, lonely piece of shit off there doing your own thing. Yeah, I think.
But
this not sympathetic to me.
This reminds me a lot of Thor in Marvel. A lot 100%. Of this storyline for Liam is nearly word for word of what we get for Thor. He's a fuckboy. His dad is trying to get him to become this leader. His dad dies. He's thrown into this role. He becomes a leader. He loses his mom. He was definitely a mama's boy. who had different views than her husband, and growing into this character that has a mix of the two.
I would like to point out this is Marvel's version of Thor.
Yes.
Not the Norse version of Thor.
Yes. I don't know Norse versions.
They're not consistent. Mythologies were not singularly done, so they're kind of aggregated. That gets into a whole other very interesting thing.
But what I get from the scraggly, handsome man, that's a fuck.
You imagine he's the chubby Thor from the third one? Where he's got the beer gut?
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't get that at all. Because he talks about how yoked he is, too. When he needed clothes, right? And he's wearing his buddy's clothes. And he's like, he's not a small man, but he's not my size.
Oh, so the suit was
tight.
Yeah.
It's too tight in the arms and in the chest, but fits just right around the waist where he's trim.
Oh, I took the suit was too tight, so he's a little chubby right now, and he's going to, bulk up.
Oh, no, I took it as he's already yoked.
But, his arms are still ripped naturally, and
he's just too big.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, gosh, do you have any bigger clothes that are still form-fitting? Perhaps there's elastic I could wear. Any Hoosier. The crowd's being a dickhead to him.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you have this Henry with a big gulp drink.
Who's just completely aloof kind of in this. What I don't understand is why the human representative is like, oh, Henry's just young. Don't smite him. How the fuck do they know Henry? Or did she kill Henry and take his shape, maybe? That's what I assume she did.
Oh, yeah, she probably did. I assume she, took over his body. No, this is way more logical. She's a shapeshifter. She saw him, took his form, killed him. And then she's like, but I'm thirsty. I need a Dr. Pepper. So she goes to the gas station, gets her drink, and then she's like, all right, now we can go to the meeting.
So here's the thing. I was so disappointed when that turned out to be her. I was shocked, but I thought this person would have been a sick antagonist to have had. Another powerful dude who's just not impressed with this king.
Okay.
I was like, this is going to be badass. And it does turn out badass, but a part of me is like, God damn it, we're back in Diana.
Oh, I thought it was badass. And this was the chapter that really hooked me. Chapter 7, all right, I'm in here. Chapter 9, I'm hooked. I'm like, Diana infiltrated this meeting. She was so nonchalant, charismatic, badass.
She's the fuckboy. She came off like, hell yeah, brother. I don't need your approval. I don't even care that you're here. But now that you are, let's really talk about how you're such a piece of shit. I loved it.
It was great.
And then it was like, whoa. Now, this is where I know that you had to be excited. When she shapeshifted back into herself, where she's like, I forgot I was in this body. And then it turns into a sexy lady, and he's like, she was fucking hot. Her shirt was cut too low in the front. I could see her nips.
It wasn't like that. It was
pretty close.
She was so stunningly beautiful. And then he's like, I got to learn more about her. For the mission. Like, oh, yeah, okay, buddy.
He's like, I remember the days when I used to want to learn about women. But yeah, it was crazy because she transforms into a super sexy lady. And it spends quite a while, not a long time, but it does take the time to describe how overtly sexualized she is by comparison of everybody else there.
And what I get from it is she's doing this on purpose. She's using her figure to her advantage for fighting, to distract men, similar to how she was the damsel in distress earlier, acting all oh, I'm just a weak little girl. Be a shame if someone came and helped me. Stab, stab, stab.
None of those people are coming to help her, I would like to assume. Or I wouldn't even like to assume. I know definitively those people are intending on killing her.
But if I had this banging of a bod...
You do.
Okay, why thank you. But I mean, if I had this banging bod and I needed to go off and kill people, I too would be dressed as a super sexy woman. Be like, oh, I hope a man doesn't get too close. Stab, stab, stab.
I'm going to be more nervous about you. You're generally dressed as a super sexy lady. I find it quite distracting.
Stop it. You're ridiculous.
Show you ridiculous.
No. Chapter 10, Liam's POV, he hand flexes in this. Anytime
I missed it.
There's a mention of a hand flex, I'm like, Mr. Darcy.
Yes, I missed it.
This is our boy. He does a hand flex because she's so beautiful, he can't contain himself type of moment.
And that's how he gets that energy out.
That's how we know, yeah. And he tells Logan, I'm going to find that woman. I'm like, okay, sure. The woman who is so stunningly beautiful, she got away due to this beauty. You're going to be the one who takes one for the team and goes and finds her.
I love that nobody noticed where she went.
I don't know how she got away.
Imagine just a super slutty dressed lady in a crowd of people. You have a congressional meeting, right? There's hundreds of people in this place. Random person shapeshifts into a very sexy lady. Similar to Men in Black 2.
Oh, I was thinking The Witcher and Yennefer, and she's just this gorgeous woman that...
Okay, sure. We'll take Yen into this. Whichever way it goes, just a lady who's absurdly sexy compared to all the people around her. She manages to just slip out of there.
I thought she set the room on fire and she...
Maybe, but there have to be some perverts that are far more concerned about that woman than the fire. Because I know damned well, if you were just out there in a skin-tight thing, just however you want to be presented in a way that is for my gaze.
It's not for your gaze, it's for my advantage. It's a war tactic to be dressed like that.
Why is it a tactic is my question. It's a tactic because of my gaze. Anyway, you're dressed like that. Baby, I could be on fire, and I'm not going to not see where you're at. You could have lit me on fire, and the last thing I'm going to see is you through the filter of flame.
Well, she got away somehow. I don't remember it. I just remember...
She transformed into an Uggo. She just, all of a sudden, throws a bonnet on, and boom. She's out there in her Dutch matronly outfit, you know. Off to go churn butter. Slips into the crowd.
We're editing the section where we were talking about weathermen, and you had like 5 weathermen on the ready to prove your point.
I literally just Googled weatherman. Local to us.
She just turns into your local weatherman as she escapes.
The only one who's keeping an eye on her is Adri. It's like, where's that sexy little man going? Somebody give him a teleprompter.
Editing that episode was so funny. I have nothing against weathermen, but it sounds like you do.
No, I have nothing against anyone. I just don't think that they're stereotypically the most attractive group of people. You start off with all weathermen are sexy. And then it's, well, most weathermen are sexy. Well, there must be one weatherman that's sexy.
It's just the one.
There is one weatherman from the Weather Channel.
Okay, so she gets away, though. Chapter 10, Liam hand flex, I'm going to find this woman. He follows her to a room, and he's thinking to himself, I want to keep playing this game with her so I can get some intel, of course. I'm like, yeah, okay, Liam, you want to keep playing this little mind game with her, or do you just enjoy her attention?
To be fair, in this part, I do think he's coming at it with the idea of, I need to know what the fuck's going on. This bitch just shapeshifted in front of everybody,
sure.
And she killed my boy.
But
he's still interested in her.
He's very interested, and it made me think of Violet with Xaden type of thing, right? Violet knew she should not like Xaden. She knew he was bad, he was dangerous, and wanted to kill her, but she's like, but I want to kind of be close. I think I want to wrestle this boy.
He did actively try to kill her.
Yeah, but she was kind of into it, though.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying his attempt was earnestly trying to kill her initially.
Yeah, sure, but this
and she's
is where...
like, holy shit, you're fireproof. I love this. Because she's like, you're fireproof? And he's like, well, singed the fuck out of my hair and beat up my uniform, so not to worry. And he just like rips his clothes off a little bit, Tarzan style. And she's like, oh, aren't you interesting?
She calls him the most handsome brother. And I found it hilarious that his well-known thing is just for being handsome, but it's nothing compared to Big Dick Rick's reputation.
She calls him World Ender.
World Ender and the most handsome brother or something like that.
But I like, too, this, not to step away from where you're at with this. We'll come right back into where you are. But there's a point of this that's also very informative. World Ender has two meanings to him. As in, he was the World Ender when he was going off and destroying these other people in battle, but he's also supposedly the reason that his own world was destroyed.
Oh.
And that's why he struggles with that.
Yeah,
She throws that square in his face.
I think when she noticed that it bothered him, she keeps bringing it up. Later when she's interrogated too, she calls him that just to get under his skin.
Oh yeah, no, she's fucking ornery.
It's great.
Their fight was cool though, because he's like, she's trying to measure up the same way I'm trying to measure her in this. And then she's like, fine, fuck it, I'll kill him. And then she really gets after it. And he's like, nope. And it doesn't matter how many times he beats the fuck out of her. He's just throwing her through walls. He's beating the shit out of her. And he's like, she just keeps coming back like an ornery terrier.
So I thought they were an equal fight. Now thinking back, I see why they're not an equal fight. He's trying to keep her alive because he wants to interrogate her.
Yeah, it's literally like he's wrestling with an 8-year-old kid.
What? No.
He literally brings up, he's like, it doesn't matter how many fucking times I put her down. She just keeps coming back for more. He's like, eventually I'm going to have to really fuck her up. And she's like, what is your weakness? And he's like, I don't have one. He's like, everybody's got a weakness. He's like, not me. I'm fucking awesome. And she's like,
pretty great.
He's just like, you can't beat me in battle. I am the way, the truth, the light. You know, he's like, I am God, motherfucker. And she refuses to acknowledge it. And he's like, she's very powerful, but she's not me.
But even in a way that is unusual for an Igmorathan too. I think at the end of chapter 12, there's a mention of there are only 4 who could have this level of power. And I wonder if she was turned Igmorathan and gifted power from an old being.
Like the universe craved balance and it was given to her.
Oh.
Is what I assumed.
I thought it was like one of these creatures that were destroyed in the Gods' War. They didn't actually die. They were stored somewhere and they were put into her, one of them.
Inserted?
Yes.
Full insertion?
Yes.
Gross.
And she's not aware of it. Sometimes she kind of talks about this beast underneath that's kind of within her.
I would agree that she has extra whatever, magic or something.
And in their fight, he chops her arm off.
Yes, and she regenerates, and he's like, cool, she can do that. And he's just testing her the whole time.
She transforms, and I have the question, was Diana the monster in his nightmares?
I thought initially she was his dad, and then I thought she became the monster that...
He said something about he saw the figure of his nightmares, and I was like, but Diana wasn't there. She didn't even think that the old gods were real, but if you were in the old gods' war... But I think Kaden showed her this shape to take on.
I think it's a projection from his mind.
Oh, his trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought she chose a form that was shown to her by Kaden, and she did it to escape, but she didn't know what that figure was. It had no meaning to her.
I think if she got any of his blood in her mouth, she could kind of read his memories through it.
Fascinating. I don't think
because she also knows how to make him angry.
She does. Or she's perceptive.
Porque no los dos. Really cool fight, though.
It was great.
But they are in no way evenly matched. I want to make that so clear.
Fine.
He kicked the shit out of her.
Yes, because chapter 10 ends with her being knocked out. Oh, and that's when he says there can only be 4 that can take on the form that she did. Chapter 11, Liam POV. He gets a haircut.
Yeah, after a lot of it was singed. And he's moving around and they're like, fucking stop moving. I'm trying to save what's left of your hair. He's like, please make me pretty.
I don't think he cared. He's like, fine. They got tired of looking at him like that. And then he becomes even more handsome than he was before. While he's getting his haircut, he has a memory or a dream of his mother. And it's a lesson from his mother that claws and teeth are not what make up a monster.
Yes.
His father is upset with the lesson that he walked in on. He's like, what are you teaching my boy? And that's why I thought his dad was not a great guy, but I think
it was more done in jest.
Yeah.
Where his mom's giving him humanities lessons, and his dad's like, okay, now you need to be able to rip the throat out of some motherfuckers.
He's like, that is actually a monster, though. Let's be for real.
Yeah. They're opposing ideologies, but not necessarily in direct opposition. More like his mom is enriching his knowledge, and his dad's like, but you still need to be like really, really good at murdering people because they're going to come at you, bro.
I think now, after hearing your perspective on his dad in these chapters and Liam realizing that he's kind of becoming his father, that his default is to be like his dad because his dad was revered as incredible. But then as the book goes on, Liam's growth is taking on the lessons that his mom taught him.
Do you think that it's somebody's responsibility to be both? Like, he's king, right? But his dad was king, and a great king, but part of what made his dad's rule so incredible would have been his mother, or the queen. There would have been balance among both people. Expecting one person to be both?
I see what you're getting at, but this is a romance novel, and I think him taking on learning the lessons of his mother is how he's going to be open to Enigmorthan being a lover of his.
No, I don't disagree with you. I guess I'm wondering, do you think he could potentially be as good of a ruler as they had while both his mom and dad were alive, without somebody else to kind of round him out?
I don't know.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I don't think any one person can be...
Yeah, that's where I think he's going to be a mix of both of his parents. And I don't know if it's intended for his growth to become a better ruler, but to be a lover.
I think he has to be both.
I hope so.
I think that's the nature of it.
So he has that lesson. He has a stunning glow up, called the most handsome brother or something earlier, but no Big Dick Rick nickname. And he realizes he's becoming his father at the end of chapter 11. Chapter 12, Diana's POV, she could not escape the holding cell. So she's in a holding cell. She's trying to escape. She's there for days. Eventually, Liam shows up and she's like, who made him hot? Too tight of a suit also.
Still.
He still never got a new size.
He did. He chose to go one size smaller even.
They have her tied up and they interrogate her. And that is the end of chapter 12, is the interrogating. I don't think
I thought that was the end of chapter 11.
No, that's the end of chapter
you're
12.
Right. You're right.
I was going to say, did you go a chapter
I
ahead?
did not.
The interrogating didn't seem to really share information we didn't know, but shared what Diana didn't know and what Liam didn't know from each other.
I think it was a really nice way of sharing the information without a big exposition dump.
Okay, yeah.
To be fair, we got to see them get the information independently, so you can also see the way that they shared the information or collected it from one another. It wasn't straightforward, right? I don't believe either character is yet to the information that we have. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think they're both getting it piecemeal, kind of. But I do look forward to one of the things he brings up is he doesn't think of her as a being whose life is valuable at this point.
No, just beautiful.
Yeah, and he sees her as a plague on his people.
Yeah.
Like she's a perverse version of what they are. And I think it's really cool that we're going to get to see some growth from him there. And for her, because she really fucking hates Celestials, but they're both very heavily indoctrinated.
Yeah. And it seems like in this interrogation, she realized some of the lies that Kaden's been feeding her.
Can we also discuss one amazing thing that Liam does?
What?
When she blows the place up or whatever, shoots fire out of everything and blah, blah, blah. Before he goes to chase her down, or I guess once he's chased her down, he checks with his generals to see if they need help with all of the people. And I thought that was a really nice thing that we don't see in any of these other books. A genuine concern for the populace. I shouldn't say genuine. He's not genuinely concerned, but he is aware of it. He should be.
Okay. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he's like, they've got these tiny boxes on wheels, 4 wheels, with lights on them. The ambulances is what he's describing.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, how many casualties? And they look at him and they're like, no casualties. They're getting it taken care of. He's like, what do we need to do to help out? And they're like, no, they've got this. We're okay.
That's when he's making the comment like, I'm going to go find this woman.
I can't remember if that was before or after he found the woman, but I think one way or another he did reach the point where he could express concern for these people, even if it wasn't genuine concern. He's aware of it. He should have been.
Did you have other thoughts on chapter 12, the interrogation?
She maintains such a spicy attitude, and where he gets his edge with her is through her sister.
Yeah, I thought he was going to pick up on that a little sooner. I wonder if that's what's coming up in the next chapter.
Yeah, I just like that The cards are on the table this early. The information they have, she knows that they know of her sister. And she's like, if you fucking touch my sister, I'll kill you. He's like, nah, bro. Just talk to me. We'll get this shit figured out. My mission is not to go out here and destroy everything. It's to know what you know.
Almost like she knows that if she says something and goes back to Kaden, she's dead. If she doesn't say something, they may kill her. She's kind of in a no-win situation right now.
I'm hoping what changes is her confidence a lot.
In who she is with Kaden?
If she can go roughly toe-to-toe with this guy, I mean, not really, but kind of, she could kick the shit out of Kaden. Kaden is nothing on this guy.
Well, especially if she has some type of beast from the old God's war, and that Kaden has just convinced her that she isn't something that she is. Yeah, maybe she learns. She's like, oh, I'm actually badass.
Yeah, and she's subservient to him, but even she has these inklings of like, maybe I'm as powerful as he is. Kaden's superpower so far is to be an asshole. I mean, like, obviously he's also very powerful, but the big thing is he's not burdened by feelings or affection for anything other than himself.
Oh, I thought Kaden was more powerful than her, but I don't think she's tested this.
It's brought up a few times in the first few chapters that she may be as powerful as he is.
Oh, I didn't pick that up. But in the first few chapters, I was not really into the book.
Totally fair. You excited for the next few chapters?
Yeah, this will be good. I like it. I'm into the book now. It just took a little bit. We'll do 12 more chapters.
Ooh la la.
I love you.
I love you.
You are my bestie.
You're my bestie. Open your legs and close your books. It's over.
No.
Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
Drop it on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a two-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I want to say love you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
I love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye. Close your legs and open your books. Open your legs and close your books. I'm gonna read it. We gonna read books. Close your legs and open your book. I want to learn to read. Open your legs and close your book. I'm tired of reading.
No.
That should be the end of the podcast. All right, close the book, open your legs. It's time to quit reading. Podcast is over. Close your book, open your legs. No. As you were.
No.
You know how we all walk around just spread out.
No.
Put your pants on, Edith. It's time to read a book.